FEMA is readying the troops. When the elite call their selected agents together, it's time to pay attention. Just recently, the Preparedness Agency of the United States government, also known as FEMA, potentially activated their, quote, civilian corps. The only question is, though, for what? What are they doing? There's a letter that's actually been floating around. I'm going to show it to you down here, right here. Shalom. We received reports last week of various employees, citizens, etc., heading down to Atlanta, Georgia, to either the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, and the Center for Community Preparedness, FEMA. As far as we can tell, it is true. One girl we spoke with actually gave a cover story for her absence and flight to ATL. We believe the Federal Emergency Management Agency is actually activating its civilian corps, current and former government, which consists of current and former government and military people, many with various training backgrounds to broad to cover there. While this group is unarmed, they are generally drafted from the fighting branches of the U.S. military, medical, and communications. We were informed that several companies in Minnesota reported large numbers of people heading south. Only the families we asked confirmed where they were going and why. Few spoke to us without agreeing to anonymity. Why is this an issue? Should it concern you? Yes, if you know anything about these guys. They're based off of Tom Clancy's novel, The Division. I don't know if you guys know about Tom Clancy. That guy knew a lot about what was going on within the United States government. This is a real group of actual people, not some made-up branch or etc. For FEMA to pull in its entire civilian corps for training means that something big is about to go down in the U.S. While we can confirm, none of the people we spoke with gave us a straight answer. This is highly concerning. At this time, FEMA is denying the news. Anyway, this is the story as we know it. And why is this so significant? Nekama is a Jewish preparedness center. Let me better explain. Nekama is a voluntary organization that provides natural disaster preparedness response and recovery services nationwide. Through the years, we have brought comfort to disaster survivors by training and mobilizing thousands of volunteers to help communities after floods, tornadoes, and other natural disasters. So clearly this organization is not just nobody. Let's put it that way. This organization does actually exist, number one. Number two, it also mobilizes thousands of people, thousands of volunteers. And in this email, they are stating that they are seeing a lot of people head down to FEMA or the CDC, whether it be for training or they are mobilizing the troops. That's the best way to put it. So there's definitely something going on, whatever you want to call it, but it's very interesting to see that other people are also noticing that maybe not are in the conspiracy realm or the truth realm, whatever you want to call it, that something strange is going on. Something a little off. Well, why is everybody going there? What's there? And they're giving cover-up stories. Well, that just adds to the fire. And the fact that FEMA can't explain itself as to why so many people from various parts of the country are heading down to its organization, it makes no sense. So what's going on? What is your little secret meeting about? It's a crazy time to be alive, and of course, we also know how bad FEMA is. The FEMA camps, the disaster relief, it is all a part of their agenda. They create the chaos, then they have a plan to fix it. And it's through the organization of FEMA. That's all I've got for you right now. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening. Come check out the article. God bless and carry on.
NATO is on standby to attack Russia. That's according to Eric Zois for the Daily Sheeple, who's reporting that on Tuesday, June 14th, NATO announced that if a NATO member country becomes the victim of a cyber attack by persons in a non-NATO country such as Russia or China, the NATO's Article 5 collective defense provision requires each NATO member country to join that NATO member country if it decides to strike back against the attacking country. Now, it's interesting that they would state that a cyber attack falls under that category. Now, the article continues that the preliminary decision for this was made 2 years ago after Crimea abandoned Ukraine and rejoined Russia, of which it had been a part of until it was involuntarily transferred to Ukraine by the Soviet dictator Nikita Khrushchev in 1954. Now, that NATO decision was made in anticipation of Ukraine's ultimately becoming a NATO member country, which it still hasn't happened. Now, the article also states that it is only now NATO is declaring cyber war to be included as real war under the NATO's Treaty of Collective Defense Provision. My friends, this is very dangerous, okay, for a couple reasons. Because, first of all, cyber war, I mean, yes, it could lead to greater problems if a hack goes into, a centrifuge and melts down a reactor or something like that, or a hack goes in and you turn the weapons on something like out of a Terminator movie. But we just did a story about the hack of the DNC by the Russians. Now, if NATO comes out and states, look, hey, guess what, folks? We were hacked. How do you prove these things? I mean, at least in an actual war where bullets are fired, you can see that there is, an aggressor on either side. Now, of course, those can be staged as well. We know very well how false flag operations work. But now you have another level of cyber false flags that could actually be implemented that could trigger the reaction of an Article 5 implementation of the NATO treaty. So this is a very dangerous precedent that's being set. We're going to continue to monitor this very closely. What are your thoughts? Weigh in on the comment section below. Subscribe for updates, and if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up and share this report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.